Hello everyone, The Nerdy Steve here, and today I will be featuring a Zur Eternal Schemer deck in Standard. The MTGA Zone article and the list is linked in the description below. I'm going to talk a little bit about the plan of the deck, and then we'll play a couple of games. So, let's go. Zur Eternal Schemer is a 1/4 flying creature that costs a white, blue, and a black, and enchantment creatures you control have Death Touch, Lifelink, and Hexproof. And for a white and 1, target non-aura enchantment you control becomes a creature in addition to its other types, and has base power and base toughness equal to its mana value. So, what this means is you can animate your wedding announcements, your spirited companions can make 2/2s, and your Meathook Massacres you can make 2/2s that can attack and, be good. But the key interaction here is Leyline Binding. So with Zur Eternal Schemer out, you can animate Leyline Binding and make it a 6/6 creature that is going to kill basically anything in combat. And because of that interaction, you will notice that we have Jetmir's Garden and Ziatora's Proving Ground as ways to get our domain lands so that Leyline Binding costs only 1 mana. And that's kind of the basic idea of the deck. It is kind of like, has a lot of your normal expected Esper cards. It has Counterspell and Make Disappear, Removal and Cut Down, Rona's Vortex, and Infernal Grasp. And Wedding Announcement is just a good card all around anyway. And Zur just kind of plays into this as a way to specifically the lifelink on Zur Eternal Schemer I found to be very, very powerful because you can kind of bide your time a little bit, knowing that if you can survive until like turn 7 or 8 at a couple of life, you can then animate a wedding announcement and attack with a 3/3 lifelinker, right? So that's kind of how we expect this game to go. We want to go to, we want to survive the early turns, obviously, and then use Zur to animate a wedding announcement or a Leyline Binding attack, gain a bunch of life, and that will allow us to stabilize. Now, with all that being said, let's go see if it works. Also, if you haven't already, you should totally like, comment, and subscribe. That's a great way to help support me and this channel. If you have any deck suggestions, please let me know. I am always looking for more things to play. And I have a Twitch if you want to watch me play live Magic. And I have a Metafy if you're interested in coaching. Those links are down below. Now, thank you for watching, and let's play some games. Okay. This actually seems fairly decent, right? We have our big domain enabler. And on turn 2, we get to Spirited Companion. Now, we do need another land to start Raffining. But if we can get that going, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. We don't have black, though. So that's a little unfortunate, actually. And maybe I should have considered that more into the mulligan decision. But we will be able to get the Wandering Emperor out. And we do have a counter spell, so... But this is a little not great. Because we're taking 6 here and we cannot block. Alright, that's... We can't do anything there. We would love our opponent to play a 2-drop that we can counter. Alright, that's obviously not ideal to counter, but... Beggars can't really be choosers at this point. Wish we had black mana, but... Alright, so now... What we get to do... Ooh, our opponent didn't want to animate that, which is actually kind of nice. It saves, I think, us a couple damage. And we get to exile the Rada. We really need a black mana, though. Also, should have tapped that manually, because now we can't do anything, right? Let's make this a 2/2. Because something that we can do next turn is we can... Ooh. We can use Xur to target the Spirit Companion and attack with it, and it'll be a big life-linking creature, and that will be able to stabilize us, I think. Specifically, if we can give it another counter with the Wandering Emperor. Alright. So our opponent kind of gave us an opportunity to stabilize here. Now, I don't know what they could have done and how they could have attacked differently, but we are in a pretty, I think, good spot right now. I mean, a relatively good spot. Oh, so we actually don't even need to... We could target it to pump it up. It would be a 4/4, but we can just play the Raffine and then attack with it. And we discard that. And it's a 4/4 anyway, and now we have 2 creatures. Is that good game? What can our opponent have? If our opponent can kill Xur, that can stop our life linking shenanigans, which, you know, is not great. We're at 6. Okay.
See you later.
So I think we might be fine here. We are. GG. Okay. We can keep this hand. I think we want to Ziatora's Proving Ground so that we have cut down up as soon as we possibly can. It looks like our opponent is on some type of the mono blue tempo deck, which is, I mean, just an island, but that can show us a lot. And that's a little scary. I think our deck, we're not a very cost-effective deck. So this seems like it's going to be an uphill battle. Our opponent can take all the time in the world to, you know, develop their board, get the right counter magic and everything. So I'm a little scared. We'll do this. Our opponent can't really counter it. Probably has a Fading Hope, though. So that's probably going to happen. And maybe we shouldn't cast the Archangel here because it allows them to Fading Hope and Scry, but fingers crossed. Another Delver, okay. You get to attack here. This is really, really good for us. You know, I was scared, but having the Archangel on the battlefield and attacking, a way for our opponent to deal with it is Fading Hope, right? But now if that Fading Hope allows us to recast it, and now we can activate the Archangel and potentially kill our opponent's creatures. So, while it's obviously not ideal, right, for us, it does force our opponent have to have stuff here. Like, this needs to be a Spell Pierce. And if it's a Spell Pierce, our opponent is tapped out.
Now you've done it.
And we get to Archangel and kill something.
We must protect the...
So this has worked out so much better than I could have ever imagined, and I'm very happy about that. I'm making the 2/2 now because I don't want to go into combat and have our opponent, I don't know, do something with the Wandering Emperor. And because we know we're making it anyway, so I don't want to, like, give them an opportunity to mess us up. So we'll double kick. Then I think I want to get rid of the Delver and deal 2 damage to our opponent. Now our opponent now can have a really big Haughty Djinn and a 1-mana Tolarian Tower, or close to 1 mana. I'm not gonna do all that counting. Alright, there's the Haughty Djinn. But we now get to... This is really good. We get to put a counter on the Archangel. And now it's a 4/5
Somehow we greet our
with first
enemies.
strike. That's a lot. And then I'm going to cast the Ziatora's Proving Ground. Our opponent's probably going to try and attack the Wandering Emperor. And I think if that happens, what do we want to do here? I think we just go for it and make our opponent have a bunch of stuff here. Okay, yeah. Another Tolarian Terror, which is fine. Another Tolarian Terror, which is fine.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Alright, let's go for... I want to keep the Archangel in my hand. Because of that. And then we can Infernal Grasp one of the towers while our opponent is tapped out. We're at 33, but we'll block here. Haughty Djinn. We'll do that. And now we'll wait. We'll attack here.
To teach you.
Kills that. And then we'll just activate it. For a game? For a game. GG. We'll keep... So this is a pretty great hand. We have all of our mana. We have yet to see a Leyline Binding, though, which is a little unfortunate. But this is good because while we can't turn to Spirited Companion, we do have the Cut Down. And now we could Spirited Companion on turn 2, but I want to make sure we get the Wedding Announcement on turn 3. I think that's a little more important going. Because having a Wedding Announcement 2 allows us to have something really meaty to reanimate with Xur. Now, our opponent looks like is on a really good domain thing, and this is a little scary. A little scary, everyone. This would be a great time for us to get our Leyline Binding. So we go to 15 here. Does our opponent have Gaia's Might? Okay. We're at 10. Beautiful. Let's do this. I'm a little scared, everyone. We will not attack. And we will triple block. Hopefully our opponent does not kill us. Now, the good thing is if our opponent does get up to some shenanigans here, as long as we don't die, we get to Meathook Massacre for 3 and live. Weather Seed Treaty. Ouch. Okay, everyone. Well, we will just do this. We're at 3, everyone. We will now Meathook for 3. And hope our opponent doesn't have anything else. Because we're not in a good spot. Depending on what our opponent does have, though, we do get to untap. Oh, Leyline Binding isn't particularly wonderful for them. And we do have the Make Disappears, and we get to cycle twice. Right, Leyline Binding. I would assume it would be a Meathook. Oh, a token. That makes sense. We just double cycle. And we do have, alright. Again, we're just looking for anything relevant. Cycling again. Now, our opponent does have 2 lands that whenever are used, right, will deal damage to them. So, I'm going to play the Otawara. And at the end of our opponent's turn, I'm going to probably Takenuma to at least get a Spirited Companion, but maybe we can find anything, really, at this point. Alright, ooh, Serra Paragon is kind of exactly what I'm looking for. And then we will cast the Spirited Companion. Alright, so our opponent has that. Now, we have Leyline removal for Leyline Binding with our own Leyline. So we just need to draw that, and then we get to Serra Paragon again. Rada's Firebrand, okay. And this is a good target for our cut down. So we're very happy here. Cameo Safekeeping, that's so fine. That is so fine. Let's cut down. And then we get to Zur. Animate the Meathook. Attack for 5. We could have animated the Wedding Festivity, but I think this is a little safer. GG. Well, everyone, thank you for watching me play some Zur Eternal Schemer in Standard. This deck I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. I'm not sure how good the deck is yet, and I would like to play a couple more and maybe take it to the best of 3 to fool around with it there. But there was a lot going on. I felt there were a lot of interesting decisions and different lines of play I could have done. I think Zur itself is very, very, very powerful. And I think the interaction with Leyline Binding, being able to, like, flash out Leyline Binding during your opponent's end step, and then being able to cast a Zur and animate the Leyline Binding and attack with a 6/6 Death Touch Lifelinker, is a very, very cool thing to be doing. And I really, really, really liked it. And I think there's a lot of ways to potentially build around it. There are a lot of enchantments going around in Standard, and I'm excited to play around with Zur more, and I might actually brew some different versions with him. With all that being said, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Those are great ways to help support me and the channel. Watch me live at twitch.tv/thenerdysteve. I do coaching at metafi.gg, the link's down below, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.